Hey, good morning. I forgot to do my video last night. Or not that I forgot to, so much as I had like a kind of bad headache and it just kind of I was just trying to make it go away. It was annoying enough that like I didn't really want to do my video. And as much as I want to be consistent with this and everything, like everything only things only have the meaning that you ascribe to them. So it kind of, sometimes you got to reprioritize. And if taking care of yourself and getting some rest and putting your health first is more important than, some commitment to some video projects that nobody really watches and that I'm just doing kind of for my own personal development, then like, that's fine. Like, honestly, like, I think that's important to be able to reprioritize during things like this. Um, and I mean, like, I know I'm kind of like weirdly like commending myself for not being reliable, but like, basically, like, like, I think it's important. And, reminder for y'all too, like, take care of yourselves. And, sometimes we get so swept up with like the hustle or having to work so much. And I think it's really important to also take your mental into account or like your physical state. I don't know if this headache was the pressure change. It's raining today. I'm feeling a lot better actually, as of like an hour ago. It could be anything, It was I usually don't get such severe headaches, and it was just at that annoying teeter totter of just like I don't want to do anything. So, sometimes you just make those decisions, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm catching up. I'm going to definitely be able to do this video now and another video later tonight. This was a really good Unisonus video. This one was called Strange and Legal Things You Can Do with Your Body After Death. And this one it was so good. I think I watched it like, or listened to it, because it was one you could kind of put on in the background like a podcast. I think I watched or listened to it probably like 3 or 4 times. I showed it to people. Like, I really liked this one. I thought it was a really good video. I thought it was good content. I thought it was interesting. Um, it was just one of the ones where the boys were like in Mark's computer room, kind of just looking at stuff online, but it was so effective. Like some of these videos are like still really good when they just do that. It's like not especially exciting, like they're not really doing a new activity, but like these were still really good when they like actually explored some interesting ideas. So they, of course, like I think, like, talked about embalmment, getting buried in a graveyard, and all that sort of standard Americanized thing. And that's the thing too, is like I don't know if this is just like a Western thing or an American thing, or like who all do graveyards really though. Like, where did that come from other than the Egyptians? You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, like I think that's interesting because like a lot of people on my mom's side of the family, I think, went that route. My grandparents are buried in a lot in Wisconsin where there's a lot of family members. It's very interesting. Like every time we go to Wisconsin, we actually go up there, and they can kind of find all the old relatives, and like there's even like tombstones, like this is a little morbid, I guess, but there's even like tombstones for babies, or very young children there. And I think that there was like a yeah, one child in like my ancestry that was like literally a 1 year old child whenever they came over to America or something, like didn't make it or something of that nature. But yeah, it's interesting, and it's an interesting like sort of family history thing. It's interesting to see all the other sorts of tombstones, because when we went up there in like September, and there was like a lot of very interesting um very specific choices on some of the ways that people wanted to be remembered. And so I think that's interesting that that is such a kind of classic choice. A lot of people do that. A lot of people get buried with a headstone and all that, embalmed in a casket, all that. And I think that's interesting, and it would be interesting, yeah, to maybe learn more about that sometime. But anyways, yeah, my grandparents are up there. My mom's kind of debating like whether she would be buried there or if she would go like kind of the bury my body into a tree sort of route. So that's an interesting thing kind of about that side of the family. Uh, so there's that. And then yeah, there's of course, yeah, there's like, if you can get your body sort of repurposed as fertilizer for the earth, or, plant a seed of a tree that your body can help grow once it's decomposing. Or I've actually, one of the ones that the guys talked about that was really interesting was you can do the same for coral reefs, apparently. Um, you can donate your body to nature in that way and try to help the coral reefs, like either sort of regroup or regrow, or I don't know exactly what, in that way the purpose of your body would be if it would like house little fishies and little eels and stuff coming in and out in your eyeballs. But um something about that really appeals to me. I think that's kind of like a fun idea. Morbid but fun. So anyways, there's that. And one of the things the guys talked about, like right out the gate, like I think they talked, of course, classical bowling, and then like right out the gate, they started talking about donating your body to science. Which, whenever I hear that, you think, for me anyways, I think of like, oh, like, being a skeleton in a lab, or for cadaver studies, so that medical students can like learn organs and stuff. I remember actually in college, I just took like an anatomy course, but we did get to have a cadaver day basically. And that was interesting to, yeah, because like, seeing like there's models of internal organs and all this other sort of, useful things, but there's something about like actually seeing something that's not designed to be, separated and very clearly designed, like it's very important to be able to distinguish that in an actual like human body. So yeah, I think the professor just kind of like poked around and said like, yeah, like the med students are the ones that do more um hands-on work with cadavers, and they always like keep the faces covered just in case, like, if your great aunt once removed donated their body to science, and then it's like, oh, oh, I know that person. Like the shock of that. So they keep the faces covered. And then you can kind of learn that way. But also, one thing I thought was really great that the guys did was they talked about the body museums, which I guess is another donate your body to science situation. I really think those are fascinating. And they like showed like the like blood vessels of an ostrich, and like there's animal ones too. Um, I remember going to one of these actually when they were at the St. Louis Science Center in, I don't know, 2011. It was a long time ago. But I remember going there with one of my college buddies, and it was really cool. It was really cool. It was very neat to see. I it was like so crazy to see it that up close and personal. It was like a very cold sort of area as well, to yeah, keep the bodies preserved and all that. It was really, yeah, really neat to showcase different parts of the human body and how um like how they work, how muscles work and all that sort of thing. So I thought that was really cool. But it's so funny because this one day that we went to this body museum, my mom like took us out for KFC after, or my friend decided we should have KFC. I can't remember. Somehow we went to KFC, which was like a really bad decision because like eating chicken, it was like is too real. Like you can see like the muscle sinew, and then your brain. Like for me, I was like, oh man, I'm still in that human body museum. I can't do this. I'm gonna just eat my mashed potatoes and call it a day. Like, oh god. But yeah, those are really cool. Yeah, and I think that's cool with the nature repurposing. And then they also poked into the weird part of the internet of how you can handle your body after. Oh, they also talked about, I think, like, um, oh my God, what is it? Getting like when you ashes. Oh my God, hang on. No, oh no, oh no, oh no. It's like incinerated, but not. Oh no. Oh no. Hang on. Now I want to Google it, but like I gotta remember it now. Like I've challenged myself. Oh, what is it called? God, it's getting cremated. That was it. Oh my God, y'all. Okay. getting cremated, right? Oh, that took me too long to try to figure out what that word is. So yeah, getting cremated is another option. I think my grandmother on my father's side opted for that. I think that's interesting because then like there's a lot, people think about like, okay, spreading their ashes like in the ocean or, somewhere that they loved, or keeping them around in a jar, like those sorts of things. I remember having to do this prop of like, there was this play that I did props for, and there was this kind of dark humor of this woman kept her husband's ashes in a candy box, and I remember like really struggling with finding out how to make that prop effective. So um but yeah, that kind of ties into though all the weird shit though, like that they found on the internet. Some people, get cremated and then put their ashes into like the one that I have written on here is being made into tattoo ink, and then you can get tattooed like with someone. I think they made some joke of like, "Oh, this is my old Harold. I want to turn him into a skull and crossbones." So like, you can imagine like some grandmother doing that. But yeah, I think that's interesting. That's an interesting take. I think that they like. I feel like I don't know if this was a thing that you can do, or if Ethan was making a joke about like um getting your ashes like put into pancake mix and then getting like eaten. He was like totally okay with that, but not okay with the tattoos for some reason. And then the other one was like these fireworks. I cannot remember what site they went to or what service it's called, but basically your ashes would be turned into like these fireworks, this fire show, like what, not fire show, but like a fireworks show, and they called it something. I cannot even remember. Maybe like going out with a bang. There was like a weird catchphrase and weird slogan, or there was one that Mark made up. I can't remember. But anyways, it was a really good video, and if I ever found it again, I would give it another watch. Yeah, there's just like a string of good videos here. Like no fooling. But anyways, I think that's interesting, and like I'm kind of undecided about like what I would do, like I don't think I like the idea of like yeah, being memorialized or whatever. Like I guess I'm a um little god, narcissistic or self-absorbed to kind of like want to in some way be like memorialized, but I don't know if would want a tombstone and like all that stuff. I don't know if that would be necessary. I kind of like the idea of like yeah, helping nature out, being a tree or a coral reef, but also who's to say like that won't like what does anything really matter, maybe donate to science or whatever. I got organ donor on my card. I guess that's a thing, but like you know, just yeah, I'm undecided. It's something interesting to think about, and I think it's something that's important to the sort of get comfortable with the idea of, you got to think about it someday, right? You got to make that decision, whether it's sooner or later. And that's the thing is like, if I up and died today, who would make that decision for me if I'd have no, previous legal or obligation like sort of thing of like what to do, like but yeah, anyways, really good video, and I think that's all I have to say on it. I've got a few things I gotta do today, and then I have another video queued up to do later tonight, so I'll see you guys then.